What up, ladies and germs, boys and girls, children and senior citizens all over the world? It is I, your boy, the one and only Rodimus Prime, 1/3 of the 3 Count Mafia, and welcome to a brand new episode of The 10. Now, I know we haven't done these in a while, but...
Actually, I think we only did like 2 episodes on our other channel.
Yeah, so this is the first. This is episode 1 of the 3 Count channel of The 10.
Explain to the people at home what the 10 is.
Now, the 10 is a top 10 countdown of various things. Game feel, please.
Alright.
Basically, it's a top 10 countdown of various things, like from sports to wrestling and other things of that nature.
Top 10 reasons why Rod's going to beat Malcolm's ass.
Yeah. Top 10 reasons why Malcolm is gay.
Top 10 Malcolms. There we go.
You brought up Malcolm, I stumbled under my words.
Top 10 Malcolms.
Top 10 Malcolms, yes.
Number
1 through 10, Malcolm.
Number 1, Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah. Number 2, mainstream Malcolm. Number 3, I'm gonna beat Malcolm's ass. Anyway, no, but as you all know out there, football season is football season has been coming pretty rapidly, pretty fast. It's almost over. It's just like every year. It's like football season starts, and then we're at the tail point, and it's like, where the fuck did the season go?
Oh, especially college.
I know, right? Shit.
Maybe because college teams don't play as often as NFL.
Yeah, and they play less games.
I mean, how often does a single NFL team play during the week?
It depends on their schedule.
Yeah.
Because, like, one team could play on Sunday, then they have a short week, then they have a Thursday game, then take a few days off, they might have a Monday game, then play another Sunday game. That's kind of a wonky schedule.
Oh, yeah?
I would really hate that. Like, I play a Sunday, I just got done playing a game on Sunday. Then I got to prepare for a game next week on Monday. Then got to play a game on Thursday, take a few days off, then I got to play another game on this day. Like, when do I really get some rest? During the off season?
When you're dead?
Yeah. But
you know what they say, ain't no rest for the weary.
Yeah. But anyway, here on episode 1 of the 3 Count channel, this is a top 10 list of 10 potential MVP quarterbacks. Now, there has been some great quarterback play, depending on who your favorite team is. Guys like Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, that damn Patrick Mahomes from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's been really lighting the world up with his play. I'll talk about him a little later. But, yeah, there are some heavy contenders on this list. Basically, this is just my personal list. Your list may be different, and that's fine. But I have 3 honorable mentions before we get into the top 10. Andrew Luck, Phillip Rivers, and Matt Ryan. Yes, Malcolm's boy, Andrew Luck. Apparently, he's getting his luck back because, like I told him last night, he's pretty much, in my opinion, a lock for a comeback player of the year. His team's been doing pretty well, so I got him as one of my honorable mentions. Phillip Rivers, his team's been doing pretty good. He's been playing at an MVP elite level, about 14, 15 years in the game, so he's been doing his thing. Matt Ryan, he's been okay. His team, not so much, but, you know, it's Matt Ryan. Or as they call him, Matty Ice. Anyway, let's get into the top 10. We'll go from 10 all the way up to 1. Number 10, I have Jared Goff of the Los Angeles Rams. Just to run down some stats. As we are recording this here on Saturday, December 1st, he's thrown 3,547 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 picks. He has a completion percentage of 67.7 with a QBR of 113.5. Jared Goff, he's been doing pretty good. He's on one of the best teams in the league thus far. If you watched that Monday night game from a few weeks ago, that game was spectacular. I mean, that was just straight up offense, little defense, but he pretty much lit it up in that game, and he did his thing. His team won. But as far as Jared goes, like I said, he's been doing this thing, basically stating his claim, I guess you can say, for MVP. He's been playing, he's one of those quarterbacks that's been playing at an MVP level, so I have him at number 10. Number 9, Russell Wilson. Now, before I get into him, I will say I did have to kind of reshuffle this list a bit. So I got Russell Wilson at number 9. 2,531 yards, 25 touchdowns, 5 picks, a completion percentage of 66.7 with a QBR of 112. He's also rushed the ball. He's a pretty decent runner for him to be a small quarterback. He's just I think he's like 5'11", 6 feet. But I mean, he's passing the football like he's like 6'3". But he's a pretty decent quarterback. A lot of people, me included, say when his career's over, he's definitely going to be first ballot Hall of Fame. I put him at first ballot Hall of Fame. But anyway, rushing wise, 41 rushes, 231 yards, 5.6 yards per carry. Now Russell, he's okay. Well, I take that back. He's a pretty good quarterback. He's definitely a dynamic quarterback, whether he's passing the ball, rushing the ball. He definitely knows how to make plays, and he definitely knows how to move his feet, and he definitely can sling that football in the air. So that's why I have him at number 9. And I wouldn't be surprised in the end if he's somewhere in or near the top 5 as far as MVP quarterbacks go. Number 8, my boy, your boy, Cam Newton.
Camzilla.
Yes, Camzilla. Yes, he's what? Every bit of 6'5", 6'6", pretty tall quarterback.
With an arm for a cannon.
Yes.
I'm sorry, with a cannon for an arm.
And feet like a motor.
Yeah.
That boy can run. 2,699 yards, pretty much 2,700 yards this season thus far. 27 touchdowns, 7 picks, a completion percentage of almost 70, 69.6, with a QBR of 103.7. Rushing wise, 85 yards, 417 yards, 4.9 yards per carry, and he's rushed the ball for 4 touchdowns also. Like I said, he can rush the ball, he can pass the ball, he can make plays. The Carolina Panthers, with him at the helm, are pretty decent. Last couple games, they haven't been looking so good. They've lost some close games, but you know what? Cam, whether he wins MVP or not, he definitely is one of those quarterbacks that set the bar. I mean, let's look at Cam from a couple years ago when he had that magical, unexpected MVP season when the Panthers went 15-1. Unfortunately, they got whooped in the Super Bowl, but
at least he got there.
At least he got there. For the most part, I mean, Cam, say what you will about him, he definitely holds his own when he comes to that football field. He definitely holds his own when it comes to being a quarterback, an elite quarterback. So that's why I have our boy Cam Newton at number 8. Number 7, Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings. If you don't remember this guy, well, you should remember him. If you watch the NFL, you should know who he is. Mr. You Like That. You Like That. Yeah, he was saying that when he was in Washington. I couldn't stand that. Now, I'm not a big Kirk Cousins fan, but he plays okay. He's an okay quarterback. Just to run down his stats, 3,289 yards, 22 touchdowns, 7 picks, with a completion percentage of 71.1 and a QBR of 101.9. Like I said, Kirk, he's got that big contract in Minnesota. He's doing what he can to lead his team to the playoffs. They're still in the playoff hunt. He's trying to play at that level of a Drew Brees or Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. But, he's another quarterback that holds his own. He's not the flashy type. I'd say he's not like the flashy type, but, he does what he can for the most part, and he makes it work for what he has as far as the Minnesota Vikings go, because they got some dynamic players. I'll give kudos to Kirk Cousins. He's a dynamic player in his own right, but, like I said, he's an okay quarterback. Number 6. I don't know how many of you would feel about number 6, but I just decided to throw him out there. Again, I had to kind of reshuffle this list, so I put him at number 6. Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. Quote-unquote, America's team. America's team, my ass. Anyway, but as far as Dak goes, really good quarterback. He's in his third season in the league. Personally, I'm a fan of his. I'm a Dak Prescott fan. I'm not a Cowboys fan. Anyway, 2,675 yards, 14 touchdowns, 5 picks, 66.8 completion percentage with a QBR of 95.4. Dallas, speaking about the team, they've won 4 straight as we are recording this. He's definitely made some dynamic plays, especially last Thursday when they played the New Orleans Saints. He definitely made some strides and some big plays in order to lead his team to that shocking victory. That game was the highest rated Thursday night football game ever. So that was a really good game. And again, they shocked the world when they beat the Saints. Just held them to 10 points. But all that being said, Dak, I feel like he's a future MVP in the league. Like I said, he's 3 years in. If everything holds up, if the Cowboys actually learn how to tighten up on some things, he can really make some big moves and make some big strides as far as getting to that MVP caliber level. I think somewhere down the line he could have an MVP season like Cam Newton did a few years ago. But only time will tell. But Dak Prescott was pretty good at Mississippi State. He's good in the NFL. So if you're a Dak Prescott fan, you'll appreciate me putting him at number 6. Number 5, Ben Roethlisberger, the guy who can never figure out if he's going to retire or not. I like Big Ben. He's about 14, 15 years in the league. Like I said, this is the same guy who's contemplating almost every year. Should I retire? Should I play? Should I stop playing? Should I not play? What do I want to do? Do I want to eat this? Do I want to eat that? Do I want to sleep? Do I not want to sleep? Anyway. 3,664 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 picks. Completion percentage 66.1 with a QBR of 95.9. Ben Roethlisberger, he's kind of made some mistakes along the way. He's had some troubles on the field, especially with that Le'Veon Bell stuff. Well, they've won games without him, so they know how to do what they need to do with or without Le'Veon Bell. But that's neither here nor there. Ben Roethlisberger, to me, will definitely go down as a first ballot Hall of Famer, 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's definitely made a mark as far as his legacy goes in Pittsburgh and in the NFL. And, he's made some big plays along the way. Do I think he'll win MVP? No. Do I feel like he's in the conversation? Of course. I feel like he's one of these quarterbacks that'll be in the conversation every single year, whether he wins or loses, whether he wins the MVP award or not. But like I said, he's definitely one of those quarterbacks that has a pretty good legacy as far as being one of the all-time quarterbacks. Number 4, Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers, or as I like to call him, Hail Mary Rodgers. If he's not throwing Hail Mary bombs, he's definitely trying to etch his name in history as far as being MVP. Just to run down his stats, 3,271 yards, 20 touchdowns, 1 interception. Just 1 interception this year. 61.7 completion percentage with a quarterback rating of 101.7. Aaron Rodgers sat a couple years under the great Brett Favre. And when Brett left, he basically took this team under his wing. And Aaron Rodgers, another guy who will go down in history as one of the all-time great quarterbacks. His team, on the other hand, not so much, because they've had kind of an up and down year as far as on the field, off the field. But as far as he goes, I've always been a big Aaron Rodgers fan. He can do no wrong. As Stephen A. calls him, he's a bad man. And he is definitely a bad man when he's on that field, because he slings that ball 20, 30 yards down the field, and he really makes some big plays. And like I said, the guy can do no wrong. So that's why I put him at number 4. Number 3. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but surprise, surprise. Tom Brady.
I mean, if you want to save yourself a fan base, you didn't put him at number 1.
Yeah, he was definitely going to go in top 3, but he wasn't going number 1.
Yeah.
Anyway, 3,031 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 picks, 65.2 completion percentage with a quarterback rating of 96.3. Now, this is the same guy who says that he wants to play until he's 45. He's 40. He just turned 41 earlier this year, so he's got another 4 years to go. Do I think he'll make it to 45? Doubtful. Now he feels like he can make it to 45. I wouldn't be surprised until he played until he was 45.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, look at LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron, for example, came to the league when he was 18, and he's like in his early 30s.
Yeah, in fact, he's been putting more years on his career.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of mileage on his legs, and he's 16 years in the game, in his prospective sport. So I mean,
yeah, and he's using modern medicine to add years to his career.
Yeah, I mean, he stays in good shape,
So,
just like Tom Brady. So, whether you're a fan of LeBron or Tom, whether you're a fan of theirs or not, you can't deny the fact that they stay in really good shape. And Tom Brady, 18, 19 years in the league, has really been putting in the work. He's really,
yeah, putting in the work. Ask those rings.
yeah, he's got 5 of them. And they call him the GOAT as far as quarterbacks go. I mean, like I said, whether you like the guy or not, you can't deny the fact that he's really up there. Along with the Joe Montanas, the
Brett Favre's.
the Peyton Mannings, so on and so forth. I mean, he and Manning, they went at it for years before he retired when he was in Indy. They had some really classic battles. And, Tom Brady, for sure, definitely first ballot, ultimate first ballot Hall of Fame. But, yeah, I definitely put him at number 3. He's had a pretty good year, a pretty decent year. So, we'll see how everything shapes out. Number 2. We are now down to 2 and 1. Number 2 goes to quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. Now, if I'm not mistaken, just a few weeks ago, this guy just turned 23. This guy's 23 and playing like he's been in the league at least 5 years. I mean, this is just his 2nd year in the league, his first full year starting. And he's been lighting the world on fire. He's been the talk of the town, as I mentioned at the top of the show. And just to run down his stats, 3,628 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 picks, with a completion percentage of 67.5 and his QBR, 117.9. This dude is just on fire. I mean, they got at least 2 losses this year, and he's still holding his own. Just 2nd year in the league, his first full year starting. I mean, just imagine what he's going to do 5-10 years from now. I mean, excuse me. I thought he was a rookie. I didn't know this was just his 2nd year, but he's definitely in contention for MVP. Would I be upset that he won over my number 1? No, not exactly, because honestly, Pat Mahomes he's definitely earned it. He's definitely earned the right to be in that conversation, because I mean, he's got some dynamic players. He's got some dynamic weapons, if you will. He's definitely made some dynamic plays. He's just a dynamic player all the way around. Now, as we are recording this, his top running back, Kareem Hunt, was cut by the Chiefs due to a video of him kicking a woman. And yeah, he got cut from the team. They said, no, we're not having that.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, how's this going to affect him going forward?
Well, they got another guy at running back. I can't think of his name. But as far as he goes, I don't think it'll affect him in the long run. Because like I said, he's really had a spectacular year. He's basically had one of those under-the-radar type years.
Yeah.
Where he's just lighting it up on the field and everybody's just talking about him like, oh, shit, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I definitely put him at number 2. Like I said, he's really earned it.
I mean, his real test will come next year because, all these hotshot quarterbacks, they have a phenomenal big year.
Yeah.
And then they have a crash.
Yeah. It's kind of like...
so, kind of like Cam.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're drafted in, like, let's say basketball or football, you have a spectacular rookie year, you could have what they call a sophomore slump.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows? We'll see how everything shapes out between now, the playoffs, and going into next year. Because I feel like with him at the helm, the Kansas City Chiefs, for example, the Rams, I'll even say the Chicago Bears and the New Orleans Saints, they're going to be some teams to be reckoned with in the playoffs. And I hate for any team to play the Chiefs because they're one of the teams that are picked to win it all this year. So playoffs haven't started, but we'll see how everything plays out.
Yeah, they've come back into relevancy, which is a scary thing.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the Panthers from a couple years ago. They went 15-1 and got whooped by the Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And number one, I definitely had to put this guy at number one. Drew Brees of the New Orleans Saints. 3,262 yards, 30 touchdowns, 3 picks, 75.5 completion percentage with a QBR of 123.2. Now, like I mentioned, this past Thursday, they played the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody, including myself, had New Orleans blowing out the Dallas Cowboys at Dallas. Dallas shocked the world, winning 13-10. Again, the highest rated Thursday night football game ever. And I will give kudos to Dallas. Their defense stepped up. Their offense made some nice plays. New Orleans, speaking of them, they have a nice offensive prowess. Their defense is always on point. But as far as Drew Brees goes, I mean, my problem with that is, why has this man not been in the conversation for MVP? I mean, he probably has, but as far as actually winning the award, why has this man not won the regular season MVP? Now, he has a Super Bowl MVP. Of course, he has a championship under in his resume. But, I mean, my God, this guy, I mean, he was undrafted. He was picked up by the San Diego Chargers back then when they were in San Diego. He got cut due to a shoulder injury. And they talked about when he went down to Miami, he tried out for the Dolphins. The doctor said, no, because of your injury, we can't clear you. So he didn't get signed. He got picked up by the Saints. The rest is history. We all know about Hurricane Katrina, unfortunately. A couple years later after that, they win the Super Bowl. Why? Because they have one of the best quarterbacks of this generation. And not to give all the credit to him, there were some other fantastic players on that team as well. And then you look at their head coach, Sean Payton. Look at what he's done. Look at that relationship with him, Breeze, for the fact that they've been together for so long, it's like a perfect marriage, I guess you can say.
It's like put a ring on it. Am I right?
You're right. I mean, when he became head coach, he wanted Drew Brees. And they made that magic work. I mean, they are practically one of the best teams in the league, and I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up winning it all this year. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he's talked with his wife about retirement, and he said in an interview, his wife told him, you could retire anytime. So I wouldn't be surprised whether he wins the Super Bowl or not, if he just went out and said, you know what, 18 years in the game, I've done all I could do. I got a Super Bowl. I mean, I'm one of the best in the game, and he is. I'm just going to hang it up. I wouldn't be surprised if he retired at the end of the year. And you know what? He's another one of those quarterbacks, one of those short stature quarterbacks that's throwing the ball down the field like he's 6'5", 6'6". This man can sling the football, for God's sakes. I mean, what more do you need to do to get this man MVP? I mean,
get your nuts off Tom Brady.
Besides that,
I mean, people dick ride Tom Brady as the GOAT.
I mean, Tom Brady's definitely top 10, but as far as Drew Brees goes, he's definitely top 5.
He's definitely top 1%.
Yeah, top 1%. That's why he's number 1 on this list. I mean, look at all the records he's breaking. I mean, it's like this guy's setting records, breaking records left and right. I mean, he recently just became the all-time leader in passing yards. He surpassed guys like Dan Marino, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Tom Brady. And I think he surpassed Brett Favre for most touchdown passes with 500-plus touchdowns. When you reach 500, that's like hitting home run number 500 in baseball. You're now the elite of the elite. You're now in that conversation. So, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Drew Brees didn't win MVP or if Patrick Mahomes won MVP. I wouldn't be mad at whoever because both these guys deserve it, especially Drew Brees. So, in my opinion, at the end of the day, moral of the story, Drew Brees is number one, and he's my MVP. Any thoughts? Last minute comments?
Football!
Yeah, man, but yeah, that is my top 10 of potential MVP quarterbacks. We still got a few more weeks to go. Of course, the playoffs, the Super Bowl, so on and so forth. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you think. How do you feel about this list?
Yeah, and if you like listening to his voice but hate looking at his face, he's got a podcast you can listen to.
Yeah, Prime Talk. Yeah, on the Castbox app. I'll talk more about this later. And other things as well.
Prime Talk, where you get to listen to his voice, but you don't get to see his ugly ass face.
Yeah, whatever War Machine said. But anyway, this has been episode 1 of the 10. Continue to like, share, and subscribe on this YouTube channel. Tell your friend, tell your mom, dad, boyfriend, girlfriend.
Spread the news like an STD.
I don't know about all that, but yeah.
Hey man, they get around.
Yeah. Continue to follow us on social media at 3Count Mafia. Other than that, we got a whole bunch of stuff coming down the pipeline.
Mostly wrestling stuff.
Yeah, mostly wrestling stuff. So, as Drake would say, just wait on it. Other than that, I'm the one and only Rodimus Prime. War Machine MJ on the camera.
Zah.
And we will see you guys next time.